Well, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folani. Today, let's look at the issue of renewed killings in Benue State. It might sound trite to say that even one killing is too much. We're not in a war situation, yet these things go on. And in Benue State, especially, renewed killings in that state have led to an idea to meet with the president. Let's look at that because it's been discussed in the National Assembly. Recommendations are being discussed. The recommendations that have, sort of been transferred from something like about two or three, National Assemblies before now. Now, our guest is security expert and president of Benue Development Forum, Mr. Terence Kwanum. Thank you very much. A fine morning to you.
Thanks for having me, Uncle Yori.
Our pleasure, sir. Always. Always. It's unfortunate that it is this sad story that we wish really that we would hear the end of, that we are having to discuss again. I'm hearing goings and toings and froings. The issue of grazing apparently is right up there. But give me your overview of this resurgence, as it were, of killings in Benue.
Yeah, thank you very much, Uncle Yori, for that question. It's quite unfortunate that we are having this situation on our hands after implementing the Open Grazing and Ranches Prohibition Law promulgated in 2017 for about 5 years, because the last administration was able to implement that law to the extent that we'd never had influx of cattle in Benue again. But we never knew what happened to the law, that all of a sudden we have a lot of influx into the state to an extent that today we'll have simultaneous killings in over 6 local governments going out in one night, losing people in hundreds. It was quite strange to our people. But we need first to commend the efforts.
Did you say in hundreds? I beg your pardon. Did you say in hundreds?
Yes, because the renewed killings
as of a March
took place.
6 report, they were talking about up to 50 people being killed.
No, that was in just one local government in Nukum. We had about 30 in Kwande. We had another number in Kasinala. We have another number in Guma, Makodi, and Agatu. Over 6 local governments were attacked at the same time in the same night, in Gwe local government. And so we had these simultaneous attacks at the same time, with a lot of influx of herders into the state. And we need to first commend Mr. President because he has deployed enough security to the state. We also have to commend the Senate because the senator representing the Benue Northeast, Senator Emmanuel, then raised the matter of urgent public importance at the National Assembly. And there was a lot of collaboration with the senators, and the Senate President quickly was able to draw resolutions that they were going to meet with the President and the governor to be able to resolve these issues. The challenge we are having at the moment is, when these issues started, me and you have been in this terrain for some time. At that time, the efforts were being made from the state, and we were always complaining that the federal government is not doing anything, at the point we even have to accuse the federal government at that time that they were complicit, and that is why they were doing nothing about these killings. Today, we have a president and the National Assembly that have stood up and are ready to protect. But we are having challenges in the state where, as the efforts are coming from the federal government, the state is trying to justify the killings and saying that at one point, militias are fighting themselves. At one point, the Benue people are rustling. Uncle Yoro, we have discussed the issue of rustling cows here, and I have told you time without number that Benue people are not herders. Before you can be able to rustle a cow, you must know how to herd a cow. So if you rustle a cow and you can't be able to head the cow home, how are you going to do it? And they went further to say that we are not just rustling cows this time, we are butchering cows and selling in wheelbarrows. We keep imagining where a thief man will be rustling and butchering cows and selling without any proof. Now, it is becoming a challenge to resolve this issue as it has broken now, because with all the efforts that are coming from the federal to be able to assist us push these herders away and restore peace in our land, someone is somewhere trying to justify these killings. And it has become a concern because we want to know why such justification is coming. Because when the governor himself, who said that it was the clash of militias in Ukum local government that caused it, when he went on ground, the villagers there told him in the face that it is the Fulani people that came to attack them. It is the Fulani people that came to kill them. And then at that point, the narrative also changed, that it is our militias that went to invite Fulanis to come and help them defeat another set of militias. I think what we need to do for our people to have peace now is the synergy that we have lacked so much from the federal level to come and combine with the forces in the state to implement the law that is on ground, to be able to mobilize security so that peace will come to the state. So it is quite a concern to all of us as Benue people that at a time we are having a support we never had at all. At a time the Senate has stood up to stand with us, we have a state government rather fighting the Senate. Because when the governor visited the Ukum local government, what he was trying to do was to castigate the senator that had the courage to raise this issue on the floor of the Senate in bad light before his own people, which was not good for our security concerns. At the same time, after doing that, they left Ukum local government, where we lost 50 people, without a proper security machinery in place to protect those people from further attacks. So these put together are a big concern to us as Benue people.
Is there, I know the idea of a meeting with the president was mooted at one time. I don't know if the meeting has taken place or it is still in the future, because as you say, this is becoming an intractable problem. There is a law, an anti-grazing law. It would appear to be at the bottom of most of the strife. But tell me about that sort of presidential visit, dialogue, whatever you want to call it, initiative.
Yeah, thank you very much, Yuri. That is the concern I'm trying to raise here. When Senator Udende raised the issue at the chambers, the Senate resolved to meet with the president and find out ways to bring solutions to the killings in Benue. The Senate resolved to meet with the governor of Benue State. The challenge we're having now is that instead of appreciating Senator Udende for that patriotic act, the governor has now risen against Senator Udende for raising that issue in the chambers.
Okay.
Instead of appreciate, yes, that is the challenge we are having. The governor is having challenges with that. I just told you that the governor visited the local government of the senator, trying to castigate him in bad light before his own constituent. And on a careful analysis, we realized that the governor simply went to Ukum to go and blackmail Udende, because on his way to Ukum, he passed Kasinala, a local government before Ukum, where there was an attack. He passed Kwande, a local government where we lost about 50% also, where there was an attack that same night, without going there to sympathize with the people. He came back to Makurdi, Gwe local government where 18 people were killed. It's just a distance away from Makurdi. He didn't visit that scene of crisis. So it means that he only went to Ukum local government because Senator Udende raised a motion of urgent public importance of what happened to his constituency, and he wasn't happy with the presentation. The concern now is that why is it all of a sudden that the governor is refusing to address this issue when he has gotten help? The former governor was all out to be able to resolve this and didn't get the help that he's getting.
Yes. Well, I think even going back to the time of the former governor, there was a sort of stoicism, a sort of resolve that, look, the anti-grazing law will not be repealed. I think there were agitations for that as one of the ways to bring about peace, but that can't happen. You started off by saying that, look, largely the people of Benue are not cattle grazers. People can imagine the havoc that went before the law was enacted. But here we are. Is it being said openly that that law must be repealed?
No. Nobody is talking about repealing the law. The concern is the law was in place. Who relaxed the law for the Fulani herders to troop into the state in their numbers the way they did? This is the trajectory of why we are concerned, Yuri. Few weeks ago, the governor had accused the National Assembly caucus from Benue for writing a letter and dropping at the borders of DJ for Fulani herders to come into the state. It was quite strange to us if Fulani people that we know have offices in Abuja, we know have offices in towns, we know have come out openly to take responsibility of killings in Benue, suddenly have started picking up letters at the borders of Niger. Two, the governor had openly come out to tell us that the law can only be relaxed after 2 weeks when herders had already taken over. Suddenly, we saw uprising of attacks covering all over the borders of Benue. And then the governor, instead of collaborating with the efforts that are coming from the federal government, the governor is not fighting the efforts. It now becomes a case of concern why the efforts from the federal government are not satisfactory to the governor. Recall also that few days ago, the governor was in Sokoto State, and the governor sat there and His Eminence the Sultan told him in the face that the thief people, the fourth largest tribe in Nigeria, are thieves that will steal their cows. The governor stood up and could not tell His Eminence that the thief people doesn't steal cows because we don't live with cows. We live with our crops. And the governor at that time could not be able to defend his people. The governor himself could not come out to make a clear position on this Fulani issue. As we speak today, Yuri, with all the efforts, relax, with all the efforts the federal government has made and has pushed security to the state, we don't have operational vehicles to give these securities to go into our hinterland and confront these Fulani people. It is quite strange because you know and I know that the security votes has been coming to states. Mr. President has made sure that every money that is due for every state is given to them. And so why can't we get operational vehicles? Why can't we give logistics to the security personnel? Even if we are not going to buy operational vehicles, the ones that were acquired by Governor Otto, why can't we refurbish them because they have done enough job and they need refurbishment, if possible replacement? Why are these things not being possible? It is a concern to us as Benue people because we want this issue to end. And what we had lacked over time, that the federal government was not collaborating with us, today we have the full support and collaboration of the federal government. Now the challenge is from the state.
Well, unfortunately, we don't have a spokesman or indeed the governor himself to speak on the issues that you have raised, especially, and that probably is one of the more damaging, is that the governor himself has not been able to speak, allegedly, from what you've told us this morning, on behalf of the losses of his people and seeking a way to sort of stop them. This, as I just said, it always will be nice to hear from the government's side itself, the governor or some of his people. I don't know, I can't just begin to imagine why a governor would be sort of cool with a large swathe of those that he is governor of, being in such a dire difficulty. But I'll come to that. Let me bring in Mr. George, who has called in from Lagos. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling.
I would like to ask your guest this question.
Sure.
Is he really sure that the killers that he's talking about are herdsmen? I'm asking this question because the herdsmen issue is not only in Benue State, but we know that it has subsided in many other states. And secondly, why is it that when there is political disagreement in Benue, that the killings come up? Right now, we know that even the ruling party in Benue State is in factions, and the governor is not in good terms with many of his party men. Factions here and there. Why is it that only at times like this that we hear about escalated killings in Benue? I want you to please answer this question.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. First, we know that the killers of Benue people are Fulani herdsmen because the Meati Allah Kauta Hore has long taken responsibilities of killings in Benue. The Meati Allah Cattle Breeders Association have taken responsibility before the press and is in public domain. We all know what Funam has said about killings in Benue. They never just said that they were coming to kill in Benue. They said they were going to annex our land for their cattle to graze. So the
one moment.
Who are killing, I'm trying to answer him, relax.
Yeah, I know, but you see, that there, Mieti Allah is a cattle breeders association, saying that they have actually publicly acknowledged responsibilities for some of the killings going on in Benue. That's a very long step. Are you...
No, but they did a press conference. It was covered and it was in public
that
domain,
we killed...
And they did not...
we killed...
Yes, they say that until the law in Benue is repealed, Benue will not see peace. Miati Allah Kauta Hore, also in a press conference. These things are in public domain. It's something you can Google now and you see them. These things have taken place. They took responsibility. Remember that when even Governor Otom was attacked, they came out and told him that he was lucky to have escaped that attack. Next time when they come, he's not going to escape it. They have taken responsibilities of killings in Benue. It is not a new thing. It's in public domain. So nobody is looking for who is killing people in Benue. We are asking of why and the efforts to make for these killings to stop. That is what is our concern for now. And secondly, the caller asked about political crisis that brings about Fulani.
I'm going to interrupt you before you. Sorry, Terence, I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. I'm going to let you react to that aspect, that question, the question of politics. That why is it that it is at times like these that these matters flare up? And I interrupted you because Mazi Okoroafo has called in. So let's hear it from Mazi Okoroafo, and I will remember that you need to go back to the political aspect to this crisis. Mazi Okoroafo, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Sayori. Good morning, my brother and Sky. You see, I want us to look at this issue critically because for the past 8 years or 7 years, the wanton killing in Benue State. And Benue State is the basket of food. But when you are passing from east to the north here, you must see that basket at that roundabout, which means they have enough food. Now, you see what is happening now, because Benue State, they have a lot to offer this country. In terms of their juice, at least the yam and the yam. Now, Autumn regime, they have what they call the Brigade of Guard or Waiting Security or Death Network. What is happening with those guys? Because when those boys came on board, I think there was sort of sanity in some local government. What happened? Does it mean the present regime has disbanded them, or they are no longer working, or they are no longer paying them, or what?
Okay.
Issue of that very place, Sayuri, no matter whatever we analyze, no matter whoever we blame, when you blame somebody, bring the facts and the figures, and bring evidence so that Nigeria will believe you. What we see today is we sit down on regular television and start blaming one another. This is not how to fight that. How can somebody have money. You have finished serving 35 years, you take your money and go to your village and build a house. Before you talk Jack Robinson, they say one class that they have destroyed. They mean that person's future have been bastardized. Why must it be so? Now, I don't know with them. We have retired generals in that very state. What are they doing? We have retired colonels. What are they doing? We have able-bodied men and women that are ready to do. If possible, I will advise the governor as a matter of urgency, go and look for digital method of fighting insecurity. When you know whosoever is responsible, bring them into the round table and discuss, and let's find a lasting solution.
Okay.
Let's stop this issue of blaming tactics or blaming techniques in fighting insecurity. It cannot work because the element. Look at the statement that Hungary president made 3 days ago in the US. He said, if Trump is to come back by this day, what is happening? That the war between Ukraine and Russia will be a thing of past. Trump said that, after he said that in 48 hours he will start that. Is he going to use magic? Because he has something to offer. So what is happening in Nigeria that we cannot take such a bold step that to happen in that time?
All right.
Trump is to come 48 hours. You want that you don't want to tell the Ukraine to do as what they tell the Russians to do. That is it not the government supposed to do like that?
All right. Thank you very much, Mazi Okora, for calling in. Oh, yeah. Okay. You're going to react on that, no doubt, but maybe there's a way in which you
because
find it. Yes.
No, there are 3 angles that are left to be addressed, and I want to address all of them.
All right.
The issue of political, and the issue of the volunteer guards, and the issue of putting the generals together. Let me take them holistically. First, the issue of volunteer guards is the concern I first raised here when I opened my discussion that the security votes that are coming to Benue are not properly implemented to be able to protect and then service these guards. If you could recall, I told you that when Governor Otom was in power, there was no influx of headers into the state again because proper measures were put in place. There was collaboration between the conventional and non-conventional securities in Benue, and these things were put to check. Our farmers in most places were able to go back and were farming until this influx came in. The second issue of bringing our generals together and prominent citizens together. On the 9th of January, 2024, the governor, on his way to go and bury the traditional ruler in Katsina-Ala local government, a local government chairman in Nukum, where 50 people were killed, was on his way to that burial. He was kidnapped. The governor could not meet him. The governor immediately summoned that all prominent citizens of Katsina-Ala, Ukum, and Logo, that is Sankara, should come together and profile a solution to this crisis. They invited all their generals, and when they, headed by this Senator Odende, that raised this motion on the Senate floor, when they came to meet the governor and give him the solutions to this crisis, the governor was nowhere to be found. They later have to meet with the chief of staff. Since January, the solutions they have proffered so that the governor can implement and peace will be restored in that crisis area, we don't know what is happening to it. So efforts has actually been made by citizens. The issue is, our concern is, why is there a lukewarm attitude coming from our seat of power? The issue of politics at every time we have crisis. Yes, politics is dynamic, and so people take advantage severally. And the people that we know that are killing us are also intelligent enough to know that at every time we have a divide, they will cash in on it. So we're dealing with a very, very sophisticated group. All of us that are within the security circle know how sophisticated the Fulani herders that are terrorists operate. We know that they are the 4th most dangerous terrorist group in the world. That does not just come on a plateau of roses. It is their sophistication and their operations that have gotten them to be ranked at that level. So they know where they want to be at every time, and so they know the situations in those places. So if they are taking advantage of our political crisis to come and kill our people, we want the solution to come, and we want the efforts of the federal government to be collaborated by the state so that our people will be safe. So that no matter the strategy anybody is using on us, the people of Benue should not be turned to a killing field.
Okay. Well, I'll take a break now. Let me take a break. We'll come back. We'll continue with this conversation. It's intriguing to me, at least, that you are accusing the government house, the governor, of a lukewarm attitude, because from what you've said, that is part of the problem, that if indeed they had stepped up, things might be different. And this is a grievous charge to levy, but one hopes that they are hearing it, and perhaps they might want to seek a right of reply and talk to us about this. Are you indeed lukewarm in resolving the very long crisis that's been going on in Benue State? Dialogue has always been, known that if it is done well, it can succeed. But we're hearing from our guest, Terence Kwanum, that dialogue, we've been doing that. It hasn't yielded much fruit. Oh, Ada, in the meantime, let me not hold you on any longer. Good morning, and thank you for holding on. Go ahead, Ada.
There, Mr. Terence. Let me tell you something. It's not all about Benue State. That's why we are missing the point. If we continue to be treating states, this issue of terrorism in isolated states, we are not getting it right. It's a national problem. The way forward is...
That certainly is the perspective of the National Assembly. You're right.
Hello?
I say you are right. That is the perspective of the National Assembly. You're right.
Yes. From there, let them enact a law at the national level to ban open grazing and embrace ranching. When I say ban open grazing, I'm not saying you should leave them to their fate. Let them map out a way to ranch cattle. At least I heard the president talk about that recently. That's the way to go. Because if you don't ranch it, why they're having that problem in Benue is that if the state governor now bans the open grazing, just like the previous governor did, and people politicize it, thinking that because it's PDP. Now, APC has taken over Benue. The killing is not going on. Because at the national level, it has not been banned. So they now see the governors as criminalizing, they start criminalizing any governor that bans it. That's the problem. And it's even worse of when an adjacent state, a state that is close to Benue, has not banned it. Then the cattle will be going through their own and going there. So what your guest said was true. I heard it when the people at the helm of affairs, the cattle whatever breeders, when they said it, I heard them say it, that they will never know peace. That's because it's not a national case. Then again, I begin to wonder how we will have kidnapping and all that. And some people will come out and be telling the federal government, don't give up the idea of negotiating. I'll go there and negotiate with them. They know them now. And they have told us time is not number, and they are foreigners. How can you stay here and allow foreigners to be killing us? All in the name of what? I can't get it, Then fiscal president is, yes, they have agreed on police. But the way they are behaving, you look at it, they want to push it to their kingdom come 2 years' time. It's not something that should wait. Let them take this thing seriously. Then the forest, these people go to the forest and they live there. Why are we allowing them to live in the forest? Why? These are questions begging for answers. It looks as if it's an organized kind of crime in Nigeria. Then after that, we are politicizing it, that they want to destabilize Bola Tinubu and all that. Then Bola Tinubu, if he knows he doesn't want to destabilize, let him do the right thing at the right time. We can't continue like this. All this time, let's not give for Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Ada, for calling. Ada is quite riled by the situation going on there because, like people have said, I think Terence has also alluded to the fact that this is not exactly rocket science. So what is going on? Why is there the lack of a concerted move to step in? Now, Ada suggested that, don't limit the conversation to Benue State, for example, that this is a situation that requires a federal law. She exemplified what she was saying by, look, a neighboring state has not banned it. This state has banned it. Of course, there's going to be conflict there. What do you think of that suggestion, the practicality of it, that this probably needs to be upgraded from being, a law in a state to a national law, a federal law?
Yeah, thank you very much, Yori. The issue of open grazing is supposed to have been banned completely in this country because there is no modern way is the more modern way of ranching cattle anywhere in the world. And we are aware that if you take a cattle from Sokoto and trek with it up to the eastern part of Nigeria, southern part of Nigeria, you will not even enjoy the meat. You will not even get good milk from the cow. And so why are we even going through that path? When we know that when you go to places like Mozambique, in Zimbabwe, you see very beautifully ranched cows. They are best in meat production and milk production. And then we, the largest economy here, we are busy battling that we need pastoralists and X, Y, Z. I think we are being so backward. So I agree with that completely, that we need a national law to be able to ban open grazing completely. But that is a thing of the law. But fundamentally, it is the way to go, and everybody is aware of that. And outside being the way to go, the kind of hazards that these herders go through in their bushes, if they don't have an ulterior motive, how will you want to be going through the forest and the bushes where you're confronted with snakes and other reptiles that could even kill you, and somebody is giving you an option to leave the bushes and the forest to come into a modern facility and be able to rear your cattle, and you're saying no, except there's an ulterior motive. These are issues that we really need to look into.
Indeed.
Because
okay. Sorry to interrupt
no way
you there.
Tell me that you are running a business and somebody is giving you a more comfortable alternative to run that business, and you're saying no, you want to go through the hazards of the rain, the cold.
Yes,
the hammer
I know. They are talking about, you refer to it yourself, they are talking about a way of life, that, is centuries, centuries old, and they don't know any other way. So they have not.
But when the way of life was there, where the structures that we have in this country there, the whole country was engulfed with bushes, and we don't have now all those parts they are claiming were cattle in the northern Nigeria. There's no longer in northern Nigeria. Those grazing routes have been taken over by development. And so development comes in all phases, and they should be able to evolve. Everything they were doing the time they had that way of life have evolved. And that is why they too have their cities built now in modern ways. They didn't used to live in the kind of cities they are living today in Sokoto and elsewhere. And so if they have agreed to evolve in development, they should evolve in development in all phases and be able to rear their cattle. As you look at what is happening in even smaller nations within the continent that are doing far better. And that is why we take an analysis and assessments of the number of cattle that are in this country. Nigeria doesn't even come in the first 10, not in meat production, not in milk production. So what are we talking about? We're losing our citizens on a daily basis, and we're not even competitive in that aspect of economy.
Okay, let me bring in James. James has called in from Makurdi in Benue State. Good morning, James.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for calling. Go ahead, please.
Please, I want to contribute to the program.
Sure. Go ahead.
Yes.
Let me bring in James. James has called in from.
Don't listen to the echo. Continue, please. Go ahead.
Okay. I should continue. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Anko, and my brother, Mr. Kwano. Please, I want to appreciate your guest so much for being live on the TVC station. I'm with you. So I want to appreciate your visitor who is there live on the station for the killings in Benue State. He has made so many statements concerning the killing in Benue State, but he's lacking one thing. Yes, because the incoming governor, I want to ask him a question. How many years is the governor in office?
Tell you something, James, before you continue, could you mute the volume of your TV set? The fact that you are listening to yourself on your TV set as you are communicating with us is causing a problem. Just
okay, I've done that. Sorry, I've done that.
Thank you. Carry on, please.
Mr. Kwano. You are calling him Kwano, but it's Mr. Kwano. That is the corrective name there.
Okay.
Is contributing to the problem, this thing, or he's making a mistake. I want to ask him a question, if you can properly hear me. How many years is the new governor in office that is now shifting the blame on him?
Is that the mistake? Is that the mistake? Because I would have asked you, what is the mistake you think he is making?
Okay, the guest, huh?
Yes. You said he's making a mistake. What do you think? What do you think that mistake is?
He's not shifting the blame of killings in Benue State on the new governor.
Okay.
How many years is the governor in office? I want to correct him because the new governor is trying so much. No, Benue State started getting wrong since 1999 when the secretary to the state federal government was in office. That is where the state started going wrong way. From him to Suswam to Autumn, this man is the Reverend Father. We believe in him and we know he's the one that is going to change Benue State. When he came to office, when something is wrong over years, it will also take days or years to correct it. You can't correct something that is doing wrong
overnight.
Just few months. Yes, thank you, sir. So for this man condemning the sitting governor who is there just few months in office, it's not good. When this man came, he brought policies that will help Benue, and those people who are they call their name, they call themselves godfathers. When they came, those people have houses, those people have cars, and then they came that, okay, money coming to the federal, they want to share it. The Reverend Father said, no, it can't happen like that. Many people, they have children in the school, they can't even pay their school fees. They don't even have, some of them were sick, they can't even go to the hospitals. So those people that call their names themselves godfathers, to hold on, let them just touch people. So touch those people who doesn't even have a cup of Gary a day to take. That is where the problem started coming in Benue State.
All right.
They are the people that went and organized themselves and then begin to cause all those problems. And then let me also contribute on the killings in Benue State. The killings, precisely like my brother is saying here, is caused by the Fulani people. Truly, because I'm a farmer. I can't even go to where I used to farm before.
Okay. So, because that probably relates to a
thank you
question
very
that
much,
James.
James.
Are you sure?
Unfortunately,
Terence
we are
has
not
said that he's
assessing
absolutely sure
the
that there's
administration
no
of the
denial
governor.
of culpability on
We
the
are
part of.
concerned with his actions on the attacks that are taking place. He has taken oath to be responsible for lives and properties in Benue. We are losing lives, and instead of him collaborating to protect the lives and property, he is justifying the killings. That is our concern. We are not here to assess him whether he's doing good or he's doing bad, whether if he has issues with anybody or not. I think that is not our concern.
Or whether he has had enough
our
time.
Our concern here is
Can
that
you hear me?
there were
or whether,
killings in Benue, and there are responsible steps and decisions the governor is supposed to have made that we would have hope that we are on the path of resolving these issues. When it comes to the issue of assessing the governor, it's a different thing, and that is not we are now here. As you are there, you have already said that the Fulani herdsmen are killing our people, and you cannot go back to the farm. But your governor is saying that the militias are fighting themselves. Your governor is saying that we have rustled cows and we are butchering those cows to sell in wheelbarrows, and that is why we are bearing the consequences. Those are our concerns. Those are not the statements that come from a governor who is chief security and whose responsibility is to protect life and property. And that
all right. One moment, Terence. You can't hear me anymore. Can you hear me, Terence? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Okay, because I've been trying to interject sometimes for clarity. The James who called in also was suggesting that maybe the governor and the government haven't had enough time to bring this matter to where you would like it to be. What do you make of that suggestion? That, how long has he been in office, was the way he put it. He hasn't been in office long enough to have achieved the results that would be desirable. You heard him say that.
Yeah, thank you very much, Yuri. Yuri, the issues of security are not issues of building castles in the air. The issues of security are issues of protecting life and property, and then using the personnel that are available at your disposal to protect your citizens. I just told you that the federal government has deployed enough security to Benue State. It's just for the governor to be able to help them with operational vehicles and facilitate their logistics to be able to go to our hinterlands. How difficult is that for a governor to do that in 10 months? That we're discussing about time, about issues of security. If you take an oath of office to protect lives and property of your citizens, even if, as you are leaving the podium, your people are attacked, it is your responsibility to go there and protect them. The president, who is at the same tenor with the governor, has never complained that his time in office is too short for him to move around and the country to be able to be developing logistics for security agencies.
Well, in fairness.
And so the issue of time in office is not an excuse in security. We're not talking about infrastructure. We're not talking about other issues of development. We are concerned with security and issues of life and property of Benue people.
Indeed. Well, even the president that you referred to, he also has that issue. There's a sense in which people also want action, and that explanation has been given that whereas nobody can tarry, and nobody can drag their feet on the matter, as you have said, no responsible, admin would do that. But there is that question of whether or not, and that's why I've said that we do need to hear the official version from Government House in Benue. But let me take a quick break now to see if we can sort out this whole matter about communication between us here and our guest there. Terence, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Uncle Yori.
Because I was trying, why we had to go to a break was to try and sort this out. Because, in a conversation, there will be interjections here and there. But you weren't hearing any of that, is why we've gone to break to try and sort out and find out what was the problem. But you say you can hear me now.
Much better. Much better. Much better.
Okay, is there, I think there might be a delay between us. 1, 2. No delay. Ṣé ti fix nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ni? On the fix elaton. Okay. Actually, we have Precious. We have about Okay, welcome back, and we just took that very quick break to see if we could sort out the matter of communication between us and Terence Kwanum over there, and indeed it is better. I believe that you can hear us now. Yeah, we're actually, we have little time left, maybe just under 5 minutes, and we've been talking about this for the past 1 hour or so. You have expressed your deep concern that not enough is being done. As you put it, why is government in Benue not deploying and not providing the appropriate infrastructure for the effective, security of the good people of Benue State? That's the way you put it. I have said repeatedly that we would like to hear the official version the official response to this. Because, as I said, if indeed you are right, it's then the allegation that you made that, quite frankly, that they're dragging their feet, that government's house seems to be dragging its feet. People have asked the question, is there not a political aspect to this? It seems to come up seasonally. And Mazi Okorafor called in to say that this is not, in his own opinion, the way to go, where we are blaming each other on the pages of newspapers and in the broadcast media houses. He feels that we've got to find a way. Dialogue might well be the way. But you have responded to that if it is dialogue, we've done that continuously. So what, in conclusion now, can I take away as this is the most important thing that needs to be done that hasn't been done and that you are trying to call attention to?
Yeah, thank you very much. The issues are very simple. We have passed through this road before. We knew the challenges we had, that we were not able to nip this issue of insecurity in the bud because the past administration had done everything to protect its people, but we had so much challenges at that time because at any time we call on the federal government, we used to have challenges. At that time, the president would simply tell us to go and learn to live with our neighbors, or his media aides were ranting down on our necks that what we were doing, we were over-bloating it, is not as we were saying it. So there was no cooperation at all with the federal government. Today, lucky for us, we have a federal government that is ready to end insecurity in the country. And the federal government, at every point the attack comes, deploys security to the state. And so we are saying that. And then we commend the efforts of the National Assembly, which was also difficult at the time. And come together with your National Assembly caucus, collaborate with the federal government, develop the necessary logistics that are in place for us to be able to secure our place. And don't look at the open grazing law as the law that was passed by your opponent. Look at the law as the law of the people of Benue and implement it in full force so that herders will no longer come into Benue and everybody will be at peace.
Okay, all right. That's, well, Terence, that's as clear a statement as one can get, on this particular appearance of yours. I think you've put this across quite forcibly and indeed repeatedly. So I want to thank you for bringing this again to national notice. And, one just hopes that things will get better because it clearly is your viewpoint and your whole body language is that it can get better if only we would bring, in your opinion, the kind of seriousness that this requires to bear. So let me just thank you, Terence. Mr. Terence Kwanum, security expert and president of the Benue Development Forum. Thank you very much for coming on today, Terence.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
All right, then. So we'll leave it there. That's our program today. As I said, we would like to hear what the government of Benue State has to say about this. They should feel free to reach us in case they want to a right of response. In the meantime, we'll leave it there. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folari. Bye-bye for now.